What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Motorhead YouTube channel. In today's video, we are back to work on our WRX, and as you know from the last episode, we did get our roof changed. It's looking amazing. Yuri did an amazing job on it. It was all together a smooth process. So what do you think? What are we going to do today?
All right, what we need to do right now is we're going to paint the insides of the roof where it was welded, that way it does not rust. And then we want to seam up all these areas right here, and that way everything will be ready for body work.
Okay, so Vlad went ahead and ground down all these welds right here. They're ready for a nice thin layer of glaze coat just to make it look nice. For now, I'm actually gonna go ahead and get an 80 grit, and I wanna sand all these edges, that way our glaze will feather in it and it'll be nice, smooth finish. Mark's almost got it sanded down here. Once he has all this sanded down real nice, that way we don't have to touch it with sandpaper anymore, we're gonna seam up this seam here real quick with some seam sealer. That way we don't get any water coming in when it rains and whatnot.
We'll be good to go.
Real good.
Oh yeah.
It's going to look almost factory, not gonna lie.
All right, so as you can see, we got these all taped up to where we want the seam sealer. Now we're actually ready to do it, but first we actually need to clean this all off. That way there's no grime in there and the seam sealer will stick. So let's go ahead and clean it off and seam this bad boy up.
So you want to use the seam sealer or the urethane?
What do you think?
Well, since we can't run that out of the gun, I'd rather use the urethane. And we need to poke just a small, tiny little bitty hole. Like, just enough to make it come out, you know?
Got our glue, boss.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Got it ready for me, boss? Yes, sir. Oh wait, let's maybe get a brush.
Yeah, where's that brush?
right, so now that all this is seamed up, we're gonna wait 24 hours for it to dry. So let's go ahead and get started on the riv nuts.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the riv nuts on the front. I'm gonna start with this bumper. So I'm gonna take these self-tapping bolts out and we're gonna install the riv nuts.
All right, bro, how we doing over here? We gotta stay quiet. Could be tuned doing his thing, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Yeah, you did, you did.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. We got a riv nut insertion tool.
How's it looking, bro?
Okay, so check this out. We got the first riv nut in here. But what I do want to do, we need to grab one more tool.
How we looking over here, bro?
Okay, so we're just about ready to install our first riv nut of the kit. I just want to grab this quick tool to clean off the, what would you call that? That comes out.
The burrs.
The burrs. There we go. We'll just sneak that in there just like that. You see how flush that is?
Wow, that's very nice, boss.
And then we use the secret tool.
So won't you explain a little bit what this thing does? You know, for the viewers at home that don't know anything about it.
Okay, I will in a second. So anyways, how this works is we have these arms here which pull the thread from the middle of the riv nut is what you would call it. So pretty much what happens is whenever we slide this into here, and now we're gonna close the arms, and it is going to squeeze the back part of the riv nut to the head, creating a flush mounted thread for us. Look at that.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you just waste one just to show what it does?
Okay. We're gonna waste this steel one I got in here, not the stainless. So I'm gonna show you guys how this works. Okay, yeah, let's just let him listen. That way we can talk louder.
So if you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and smash the like button. Drop a subscribe if you enjoyed the content you see here.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so pretty much how this works. So check this out. You got a riv nut. You screw it onto the tool. This tool can go in and out if you don't have it. So the head of it is going to sit flush with the sheet metal, whatever you're trying to do. And then this back part is going to squeeze around the metal. Let me show you, just like this. Just like that, and boom.
So basically the sheet is gonna be stuck in this little slot.
And it's technically made for sheet metal. That way you can put a thread onto sheet metal.
But it works on plastic.
Yeah, it works on plastic.
Okay, sweet.
And you see, simple as that, it unscrews, and now we have a thread in this bumper.
Yeah,
like
check
that.
this out, guys. That is like perfect. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better way to mount something to a bumper or fender. So let's get this thing done.
Let's go ahead and do the rest, and let's move on.
So we actually ran into a little issue Turns out our stainless rivnuts are actually way too strong for this tool. It's a brittle metal and it keeps stripping out every time we go in. So we're actually gonna have to order a stainless head for this. That way we can finish off these rivnuts. So for now, I actually wanna go ahead and start mounting on this wide body, because as you know, this one isn't mounted yet. There's no holes. So let's go ahead and get some self-tappers and get this one on.
Alrighty guys, we got the other side of the wide body mounted up. This is actually the last side. So we are ready to move on. It is looking great. Okay, so Yuri came up with this genius idea to go ahead and do what we did in the back up front on a bit of a different scale, but it's going to make the fender a lot more rigid. So that way it does not flap around.
How much Bondo's on that thing?
Yeah.
Dang, this whole fender was Bondo.
The entire thing got Bondo on it. Hey, give me a dolly, Mark.
Alright, so it is the next day here, and I want to go ahead and start etching all of this. All of this is now dry. We waited an adequate time for it to dry, and there's a lot of exposed metal and I don't want it to rust. So let's go ahead and tape it up and start priming. Alright guys, so our roof is officially replaced. Everything's looking nice and OEM. I'm really happy with how this whole process went. Now we're actually ready to start on our body work. That's going to be in our next episode. We got to focus on shaving these down. As you can see, like for example right here, it's way thicker here than here, so we're going to have to shave everything down, smooth it out, make sure everything is flush. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and comment down below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at motorhead.co. And I'd also like to mention we do have merch. I'm gonna leave a link down below, so if you want to cop one and support us, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.